Look what we've got to install today. This is the adapter plate by Bacaruda. Bacaruda being one of the R1200 RS forum members. He's in Sweden and he makes these beautifully machined and constructed adapter plates for the Givi Monokey top boxes like what I have. I've got a V47 Monokey system top box. The scuff marks that you see there is from a tip over event that I had, so this one has seen better days, but it's still perfectly functional aside from those scratches. But this beautiful piece of kit that Bacaruda has sent to me, oh man, it is really nice. Thank you very much, Johan, for sending this, and today we'll do a little bit of an install. So what I have on my, you can't see it right now, but what I have there is the Givi universal adapter plate. So I'm going to take off the top box and then we'll start disassembling that. One of the questions that I asked was, how far forward would the top box go after the adapter plate were, from Bacaruda was installed? And Johan didn't really have that answer, so I promised that I would check up on that when I got mine. So what I've got here is a square right mounted on top. I don't know if you can. So I've got a square and I'm holding it in place by my hand, and I've got that in place like that, and I'm going to take a measurement from the back of that square to, let's say, this front seam right here, because that is an immovable point. And so when this top box slides forward, that distance will change. So I want to see how many inches is the delta, okay, how many inches it changed. So we'll measure like this, and the measurement that I'm getting right now, just because it's easier to read, is 285 millimeters. 285 millimeters from that back edge of the square to, oops, sorry, it shifted, from the back edge of the square to that seam, 285 millimeters. Okay, so after we finish installing the adapter plate, we'll do this measurement again. This is the Givi universal adapter plate that I have. Ugly as sin, but functional. I'm a commuter, so this plate is always hidden by the ugly top box that sits on top. I don't particularly like top boxes, but I can't argue with the functionality. So, since the adapter plate is always hidden, I really don't care how ugly it is. I'll take it off now. I won't put that on the video. The Givi universal adapter plate is off, and this is the standard BMW rack that comes. This is how it comes from the factory, and I believe that you've got to take some screws off and reuse the screws on the Bacaruda adapter plate. His instructions are right here. So the instructions indicate that you've got to reuse OEM M6 20 screws, 6 times not supplied, torque 8 Newton meters. What is supplied is these 4 spacers, and they've got to be installed as shown in this sketch. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that now. Take this plate off. All of these bolts are pretty slack. Ooh, yeah, brilliant. So anyway, these are not really seeing any significant loads, so they don't need to be really tight. So we take that off, and this exposes the screws here that we need to use. So this, and this, they all have to come off to be able to install the adapter plate. And I guess because the adapter plate is going on top of this, we won't be needing this anymore. Take the opportunity to do a little bit of cleanup here. And then start unscrewing these. They're not even wrist tight. Such a low torque value that you know, it's ridiculous. So you just break the connection, and then you can just use your fingers to undo all of these. Of course, all these little bits are going to want to fall down, but anyway. All right, so these are the 6 screws. So now, ooh, pretty loose. Now, Bacaruda's sketch doesn't show whether to take this off and to install the beautiful adapter plate directly on. But I assume that's what these spacers are for, right? The instructions, and I don't know if you can see them here, but the instructions for underneath, let me get rid of this. The instructions for underneath show that this here would be the rear of the bike, and that's the forward end of the bike. And the little skinny, the thinner spacers go into the outer area here, right? The outer screws. And the thicker spacers go into the inner screws. So here we go. Thicker ones go here. And then the thinner ones, I've got this nifty little magnetic screw holder that's sitting on top of my tank. So the thicker ones go here. Okay, that's where they go. So when I put the adapter plate on, if it sits proud of all of these edges here, then I know the stock adapter plate is not supposed to be there for the Bacaruda adapter plate to go on top of it. Okay, so that makes sense? Of course, this is the perfect opportunity for all these little bits here to fall down, right? That's how Murphy's Law works. So I've got my little spacers placed there, and this is the time when all of these little bits are going to want to fall off. So you got to be careful when you're placing your adapter plate on top of it. Okay? Touch down. Alright, now we just gently stick those bolts in. Let me catch these ones up first, and they're going to help me out, I guess. Alright, keep those little bits from falling through. There's one here, and there's one there. And hopefully the adapter plate, the spacer is still there. I can't really... I can't really see the... No, it's not there. Oh, it's on the outer one. So it's on here, on this one. As you can tell, my lighting is not perfect in this garage. Okay? So let's see. Yeah, it's still there. So nothing fell through. So I'm good. So it looks as though I lose the BMW adapter plate, and I'm going straight onto the rack with the Bacaruda adapter plate. Nice one, Johan. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Yep. So you just screw these on finger tight. And of course, we're going to tighten in a crisscross sequence like that, right? Whenever there's some kind of a pattern like this, you always do that, because you want to make sure that the clamping force is evenly applied as much as possible. When you're putting engines together, at least at the factory, they've got all of these sockets or whatever, you know, on multiple wrenches, and they all go bzzz. And the reason for that is so that the whole head will go down square. Here's my baby torque wrench. Baby torque wrench is already set to 8 Newton meters, trust me. That's one. See, I'm using these 2 fingers to do the torque, apply the torque. 2. What's going on here? Obviously I didn't go down far enough with my fingers. Alright, here we go. 3. That one's done. So I've got these 4 in a crisscross. Now I'll do the outer ones. That one's done. Good. Can't believe 8 Newton meters, but that feels about the same as what I had when I took them off. Let's back off one of them just to see how it feels. Let me back this one off. Yeah, actually, it had probably a little bit less. So 8 Newton meters is a good number. At least compared to the factory, and in all these years that I've had this bike, it has never fallen off. So that's good enough. I'm just double checking all of them because, you know, as you get older you can't remember if you do them all, even though it's just 5 minutes ago. So there we go. We've got this beautiful piece of kit installed. I just finished washing the bike, so this is what I use to dry it off. I'm not one of these guys that, oh, I have to get another rag, you know. This is close enough, and I'm gonna go wash this rag anyway. So here we go. Beautiful piece of kit. Look at that. Okay, look at this. This is the it's kind of dirty. This is the old BMW piece of plastic. I think it's plastic. Yes, it's plastic. It's a hard plastic. This is the original BMW, you know, rack, and I guess it probably was this way. So this is the old one, right? And then on top of that, I had, if you remember from the start of the video, I had the Givi on top of that. Okay? So this is gone. This is gone. The other piece insert, this is gone. Because this was here, right? So these are all gone, and just that rack is left. Pretty cool, huh? All right, I'm going to take some stills now, and then we're going to see how the top box fits, and then we're going to check that measurement again. Okay, let's see how this goes back on. So the 2 posts in front, at the front of the adapter, you snag those 2 slots on the underside of the top box, and then you tilt the top box down onto this little piece here, and you hear that? Snapped in place. Let's give it a good rock. Yep, she's solid. Wow. Isn't that nice? And it doesn't look too far forward. So let's take a measurement and see how it works. How it's shifted forward. It does not look as though it's moved forward too much. First thing you might recognize, it's lower because of all those layers that we took off. So my square is sitting on top of the seat. So that's the first change. It's lower down. So I'm still going to try and get that right angle, but because it's lower, this point here might be tilted forward, but let's see how best we can do. The error shouldn't be too bad. 260, so 25, I think it was 285, 25 millimeters forward. So 1 inch forward. It has moved forward 1 inch. So I lose the 1 inch here, and when my wife does come with me, she'll be 1 inch closer. But then this will be a little bit lower down, which is better for her back. But 1 inch closer, it should still work. We'll have to go take a test ride and see. So, having completed the installation of the Bacaruda adapter plate, these are all the bits that are left over by design, not by accident. Of course, this cover for the BMW adapter plate, and of course the Givi universal adapter plate that goes on top of that. So that's 2 layers gone. And these are of course the little brackets that hold this adapter plate onto the underside of this one. So as you can see, what a nice clean installation here. I know the lighting isn't great. I don't have a light on this camera right now, but you know, really nice clean installation here. And from underneath, wow, I can't say enough about that. That is so nice and neat compared to how it was before. And what a great piece of kit this is. This is all solid metal, and it's beautifully made. What a nice slick little piece of plate that does the job. Attaching to this top box that I have.
Out for a short test ride to test the clearance between the top box and myself. I've got Donna on the back. Donna, you there? Mm-hmm. Okay. Could you take a side selfie now to let's see how you fit between me and the top box? The Bacaruda adapter plate, guys, brings the top box to about 1 inch forward, which means there's less space for the pillion, or less space for the I've got a 60-liter dry bag, and so the dry bag will be closer up against my back. Donna is closer up against my back. I'm asking her to take a side-on selfie now to see if we can see how much space. I have no idea how much space there is behind me, so this will be kind of interesting to see. You got it? She was taking some pictures of the actual gap, but so today's a nice day. Looks pretty good. It's starting to get warm. It's 79 degrees already, and hopefully it's a little bit cooler once we get moving. We don't have a selfie stick with us right now to get a further off, a better shot, but oh well, that's it. We'll comment along the way as to how what the comfort level is and all of that. So it also, tell me whenever you're ready, Don. It also drops the top box, I would say approximately 1.5 inches lower, because I had the top box sitting on a Givi universal adapter, and that is about 1 inch thick, and then it sat on the BMW rack, which is no longer used, and that also accounts for another that also accounts for another drop in height. So what this means is that the pad that is on her back, her backrest, is lower down by approximately 1.5 inches. Okay, back there? So far, we've been on the bike, I don't know, I'm recording, maybe 45 minutes? Half an hour to 45 minutes. And like you said before, you can't really tell a difference in the distance between the two, right? Still feeling comfortable back there, right? Yeah. Donna was saying earlier how you really couldn't tell the difference between the previous setup and this one right now. She's feeling just as comfortable as before. So the loss of the 1 inch didn't really matter too much. So she is not a frequent pillion rider on the bike. She is a occasional pillion rider. So there's a deer. So no big loss. Are you still comfortable back there?
Yeah.
Okay.